Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual on Firstpost, where we get you the top 50 stories from around the world. I'm Alison Lagrange, coming to you live from Durban, South Africa. Let's begin. First in from the United States, United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was shot dead yesterday in New York. The masked gunman fatally shot Thompson in his back and right calf outside the Hilton Hotel in Midtown Manhattan. Police have put a bounty of $10,000 on the assailant. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has announced some new nominations for his administration. He has named Jared Isaacman to serve as the new chief of NASA. Trump has also picked the Preserve CEO Frank Bissinoy to lead the Social Security Administration. Now he tapped the former senator of Kelly Loeffler to head the Small Business Administration, while veteran Washington attorney Paul Atkins was selected to chair the Securities and Exchange Commission. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that the ceasefire in Lebanon is still intact. He said that the steps are being taken to continue the ceasefire as both the sides want to continue the truce. Blinken's remarks come amidst exchange of ceasefire violations charges between Israel and Hezbollah. Meanwhile, in West Asia, Israel said it targeted a Hezbollah launcher in South Lebanon. The Israeli army released a video showing the strike. The IDF said the launcher was found in Jabal Zain and posed a threat to Israel. The military also said that this violated the agreement between Israel and Lebanon. An Israeli strike hit a displacement camp near Khan Yunis, killing at least 20 people. The attack in the al-Mawasi area also injured dozens of people. Meanwhile, the Israeli military said it targeted senior Hamas terrorists in the area. The IDF also reported secondary explosions after the strike, alleging the presence of weapons in the area. A no-confidence vote brought down French Prime Minister Michel Barnier-led government. The motion was brought by an alliance of left-wing parties, which had support from the lawmakers of the far-right National Rally as well. A total of 331 lawmakers voted to topple the incumbent French government. President Macron is likely to address the nation later today. In the eastern Mediterranean, Syrian rebels have encircled the key central city of Hama from three sides. This as government forces continue with their counteroffensive to retain control of the city. Meanwhile, the Syrian rebels have also claimed victory in the city of Tel Rifat in northwestern region, and this comes after rebels claimed control of Aleppo city late last month. And shelling renews in the war-torn Sudan. A displacement camp in the North Darfur state was pounded again yesterday. At least 7 people were injured after shells were fired by rapid support forces. The RSF began attacking the camp last weekend, but was forced to halt its offensive on the 3rd of December. Meanwhile, the rival paramilitary group is fighting to win control of the nearby al-Bashar city. In the Caribbean, Cuba suffered its third nationwide blackout in 2 months yesterday. A collapse in the Caribbean island's electrical grid caused the power outage. Schools were closed and non-official workers were ordered to stay home. Authorities said that they have started to restore power and expect it to be back by today. In Georgia, protesters rallied in the capital of Tbilisi for the 7th consecutive night. This came after police raided opposition party offices and made arrests yesterday. The Georgian Prime Minister alleged that opposition had been supplying protesters with fireworks hurled at police during protests. The demonstrations follow the suspension of the EU accession talks by the government. In the Korean peninsula, a vigil was held in South Korea's capital Seoul to protest against President Yoon Suk-yeol's decision to declare martial law. About 10,000 people gathered for a candlelight protest in the capital yesterday. Citizens also demanded Yoon's resignation and chanted slogans against him. South Korean Defense Minister Kim Yong-hyun has stepped down. His resignation follows President Yoon Suk-yeol's decision to impose martial law. According to reports, Hayat advised the president to enforce the law in the country. You nominated Choi Byung-hyuk as the new defense minister. And Russian President Vladimir Putin has applauded India and its leadership. He spoke about the Make in India initiative led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi at a summit in Moscow. Putin hailed Prime Minister Modi's efforts for creating stable conditions for small and medium-sized Indian enterprises. He also believed that the investments in India are profitable. Bangladesh interim leader Muhammad Yunus has made anti-India calls. He called for unity against India in an all-party meeting yesterday, citing a disinformation campaign against Bangladesh. Yunus did not give any evidence to justify his claims. Now this comes as New Delhi remains vocal against the recent attacks on Bangladeshi minorities. In climate news, the United States argued before the International Court of Justice that historical emissions should not be considered wrongful acts. It emphasizes that the advisory proceeding in the court is not for addressing past violations or preparations related to climate change. Now, the ICJ is hearing a case to clarify climate obligations of the countries. The U.S. town of Carrboro in the Northern Carolina has filed a lawsuit against utility giant Duke Energy. It has accused the firm of misleading the public about climate change and delaying the shift to renewable energy. The town claims it faces millions in costs for infrastructure repairs and rising energy bills due to climate-related impacts. Conservationists in England are conducting a groundbreaking experiment in North Yorkshire. They are transferring fungi-rich soil from ancient hardwood to a newly established woodland to restore soil biodiversity. The project, led by Forestry England, aims to reintroduce essential fungi species that boost three health, soil sustainability, and resilience to extreme weather. And the Albufera National Park, one of Europe's most biodiverse coastal wetlands, has been devastated by flash floods in southeastern Spain. And the lagoon, home to endangered freshwater species and vital rice paddies, is now inundated with plastic waste, wrecked cars, and pharmaceutical pollutants. A severe drought exacerbated by the 2023-24 El Niño climate phenomenon has left 26 million people across southern Africa facing acute food insecurity. This is according to the United Nations World Food Programme. The crisis, which has devastated crops and livestock, is expected to persist until the next harvests in March or April of 2025. And China experienced its warmest autumn since 1961, with an average temperature of 11.8 degrees Celsius. This is according to the National Climate Center. This follows a summer of record-breaking heat and extreme weather that included the hottest July and August ever recorded in the country. And on to business and tech news now. Bitcoin rises above $100,000 for the first time. The spike comes after Donald Trump's presidential election victory. Bitcoin witnessed a 45% rise and doubled its value since Trump's win, owing to the expectations of his administration creating a cryptocurrency-friendly environment. A U.S. court ruled that Target must face a lawsuit for misleading the investors. Target is accused of misleading shareholders about its sales of LGBTQ-themed merchandise. The sale targeted 2023 Pride Month. However, it triggered a backlash and customer boycott. The U.S. semiconductor major Intel is searching for a new CEO. Now, the interim CEO with the co-CEO, David Zinsner, said that Intel is looking for a top executive with expertise in manufacturing and product development. The search follows the resignation of the CEO, Pat Gelsinger, earlier this week. And California-based SentinelOne missed its Wall Street estimates for the third quarter profits. The report led to 12% fall in the company's shares. This as the cybersecurity firm reels under heavy competition. And Airbus cuts jobs in Defence and Space Division. The move affected over 2,000 jobs, or about 5% of its workforce, in its second largest division. This as the European group bore heavy losses on satellites amidst the heavy competition in the US. And oil exporting nations group OPEC Plus is likely to extend their supply cuts, according to reports. The OPEC Plus will postpone the production increase for the next 3 months, and this comes as the group meets to discuss oil production strategy today. General Motors told its investors that it would take more than $5 billion hit on its joint ventures in China. The American company said it would incur 2 non-cash charges, one for restructuring costs and the other over reduced joint venture value. And this as the company struggles to compete with car makers in China. And Apple is reportedly facing trouble with AI in China. The tech giant is reportedly struggling to adapt to Baidu's AI models. The model reportedly has issues with understanding the response to common scenarios. Apple uses ChatGPT in its phones sold in other parts of the world. However, the US-based AI systems are not available in China. And Facebook parent company Meta is all set to invest $10 billion in setting up an AI data center in Louisiana. It will be the company's largest data center. It is designed to support Meta's data requirements for digital infrastructure. And ChatGPT maker OpenAI has partnered with defense tech company Anduril Industries for the use of artificial intelligence in the U.S. national security missions. In a joint press release, the company said that they will focus on improving defenses against drone attacks. And moving on to sports news, and just like usual, we start with cricket. In women's cricket, South Africa beat England by 6 wickets in the first of 3-match ODI series. Batting first, England were bowled out for 186 runs. In reply, South African captain Laura Wolvaardt has scored an unbeaten 59 runs to help the hosts win the match with 12 overs to spare. And former International Cricket Council Chair Greg Barclay has reacted to the congested cricket calendar. Barclay said that despite being the ICC chair, he couldn't tell which country is playing where in the world. He said, and I quote, "The calendar is incredibly congested and self-interest is such that it's almost impossible to untangle all of that." Meanwhile, in Australia's Adelaide, Indian players were mobbed by a crowd of about 5,000 spectators during an open practice session. According to reports, things got ugly as fans vigorously teased the players. The crowd reportedly distracted Team India from concentrating in the practice. And the Indian Cricket Board, BCCI, has banned all open net sessions for this Australia series after this incident. And in football news, Arsenal beat Manchester United 2-0 in the Premier League. Jurgen Timber scored the opening goal in the 54th minute, while Saliba hit back of the net later in the game to take the scoreline to 2-0. And Chelsea beat Southampton 5-1 in the Premier League. Chelsea defender Axel Disasi had scored the opening goal in the 7th minute, while Christopher Nukunuku and Noni Madueke gave Chelsea a 3-1 lead in the first match. Cole Palmer and Jadon Sancho scored late in the second half to seal the match. And in tennis news, with over $30 million in prize money and endorsements, Coco Gauff is the highest paid female athlete of 2024. 5-time Grand Slam winner Iga Swiatek holds 3rd spot in the list with over $21 million earnings, and she is followed by Paris Olympic champion Qinwen Zhang, world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka, and Japan's Naomi Osaka and Britain's Emma Raducanu, each earning over $14 million in 2024. Meanwhile, Andy Murray will most likely miss the first tournament as Novak Djokovic's coach in 2025. The Serb tennis icon will open his 2025 season in Australia, Brisbane, in January. According to reports, Andy Murray, who Djokovic hired as his new coach, is currently not planning to be with his opponent-turned-disciple in Australia. And in the World Chess Championship, the Indian Grandmaster D. Gukesh and Chinese defending champion Din Lishan has concluded their 5th consecutive draw yesterday. The 8th game of the 14-round match ended in a draw after 51 moves. Both players now remain tied at 4 points each. The player to reach 7.5 points first will secure the championship. And in the world of racing, Lewis Hamilton is set to bid farewell to Mercedes this weekend after Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Hamilton won 6 drivers' titles with Mercedes in the past 1 decade. And in a statement, Mercedes said that they will be giving a fond farewell to one of their best, Sir Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton will join Ferrari next season. And the Dutch Grand Prix will be removed from the F1 calendar after the 2026 season. The Formula One suggested this was the promoters' decision to not continue to host the Dutch Grand Prix in the long run. The Dutch Grand Prix's departure comes as F1 is already planning its future calendars. And finally, some news from the world of showbiz. First up, from India, a stampede outside a Hyderabad theatre during a screening of Pushpa 2 turned deadly. It claimed the life of 1 woman and injured 2 others, as per reports. This as fans gathered in massive numbers, causing chaos as they attempted to catch a glimpse of the lead actor, Allu Arjun. And singer Britney Spears is back in the spotlight. A day after announcing that she is legally single, on her 43rd birthday, the singer announced that she has moved to Mexico. She took to social media to share that she did this to escape the cruel paparazzi, stating that they have been extremely mean and cruel to her. And according to reports, actor Papa Esidu is being eyed for the role of Severus Snape, and this is for the upcoming HBO Harry Potter series. The actor has yet not formally accepted the role, while the hype around the series continues to build with each passing day. And according to Spotify Wrapped 2024 year-end data, Taylor Swift is the most streamed artist of the year. She is being followed by artists like The Weeknd, Bad Bunny, Drake, and Billie Eilish. Meanwhile, Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso was the most streamed song of the year. Iconic memorabilia from Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, Marilyn Monroe, and other legendary figures will be up for auction on the 7th of December. This will be an online sale. The auction features over 400 items, including jewelry, song lyrics, and a private telegram from Colonel Tom Parker to Elvis and Priscilla Presley. Highlights also include rare Hollywood artifacts, such as a Tin Man oil can from The Wizard of Oz, valued at $1 million. Robert Pattinson has admitted that he fabricated stories during the Twilight press tour in 2011. In an interview, he fabricated a story about witnessing a clown die in a little car explosion as a child. Pattinson explained that he often made up outrageous tales during this period of his career as a way to cope with the monotony of being constantly asked about fame. And spy thriller series The Agency has been renewed for season 2. This comes after its debut season got a record viewership of over 5 million views. The series is about a CIA agent who is ordered to leave his undercover life and return to his headquarters. AMC has released a teaser and key art for Mayfair Witches Season 2. It offers a glimpse of Rowan, played by Alexandra Daddario, sharing a tense hug with Lasher, played by Jack Houston. And Season 2 will premiere on the 5th of January. Wicked has been named the Best Picture of 2024 by the National Board of Review. It is a non-profit organization of New York City area film enthusiasts. Daniel Craig took home the Best Actor prize for his role in Queer, while Nicole Kidman walked away with Best Actress award for Baby Girl. And finally, the nominations for the 2025 Spirit Awards are out, and here are the highlights. For Best Feature Shows like Anora, I Saw the TV Glow, and Sing Sing have been nominated. Sebastian Stan, June Sakib, and Justice Smith are in the race for Best Lead Performance. The results will be out in February of next year. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to First Post.